Let's talk about something every UPSC aspirant knows all too well, the daily newspaper. It can feel like this huge mountain of information you've got to climb every single day. So today, we're going to break down a skill that is absolutely crucial: how to read the news the right way, effectively and efficiently for your prep. We're going to give you a simple framework to turn that daily mountain into a climb you can actually manage.
Sound familiar? You open up the paper and whoosh, you're just hit by this wave of headlines, opinion pieces, ads, everything. It is so easy to feel completely overwhelmed, right? You end up spending hours just trying to figure out what's important and what's just, well, noise. It's a super common feeling, and honestly, it's a thief. It steals your most valuable resource, your time.
But what if there was a way to filter all that chaos? A method that could turn that flood of info into a focused, super high-yield study session. Well, there is, and that's the exact strategy we're going to build together, right now. So, our whole strategy really kicks off with one central idea: a golden rule that once you start using it is going to completely change the way you look at the newspaper. This is the first and honestly the most important filter you're going to need.
And you know what the best part is? We don't have to guess what this rule is. The key is actually right there, embedded in the source material itself. In this case, we're looking at a special UPSC edition of the Indian Express. These curated editions are made specifically for aspirants, and they literally put the instructions right on the front page. And there it is, so simple, so direct, and so powerful. Avoid political and irrelevant articles. This is your #1 directive. This one sentence is the key to cutting through all that clutter and saving yourself hours and hours of wasted effort.
Okay, so that sounds great in theory, right? But what does this actually look like when you're in the trenches? How do we separate the valuable signal, the information that actually gets you marks, from all that distracting noise? Let's break that down.
First things first, let's define the noise you need to start tuning out. We're talking about the day-to-day squabbles between political parties, those press conference statements, the whole who said what about whom drama. Now, to be super clear, this is not the same as political science or constitutional issues. This is about the drama of politics, not the mechanics of policy. It's all that temporary, sensational stuff that, let's be honest, is not going to show up on your exam paper.
And this is what's so great about this slide. It just lays the difference out so clearly. On one side, you've got what to avoid: the daily political chatter and the party politics. But on the other side, that's the signal. That's the gold. These are the articles that translate directly into marks for you, the deep dives into government policies, constitutional issues, and those landmark Supreme Court judgments. This is where you want to spend your time. So that brings us to the next really crucial point: mapping what you read directly to the mains exam. See, the goal isn't just to read less, it's to make sure every single thing you do read counts towards your final score. And look, the source itself confirms this strategy. It says right there that in these special editions, all the topics are chosen because they are important for both prelims and mains. So by filtering correctly, you're basically working with a pre-made, syllabus-ready set of information. Okay, let's get practical. When you're reading an article about, say, a new government policy or a big court ruling, how does that actually help you? Let's map it to a specific paper, and we'll start with GS Paper 2. And this slide just illustrates the payoff perfectly. Every time you read a good quality article on governance, or a constitutional amendment, or a new social justice scheme, or an update in international relations, you are directly gathering the raw material, the building blocks for your answers in GS Paper 2. And it doesn't stop there. The exact same logic applies perfectly to General Studies Paper 3. By cutting out all that political noise, you're freeing up precious mental space to soak up the information that really matters here. See, the same principle is at work. Your reading becomes this targeted mission. You're not just passively consuming news anymore, you're actively on the hunt for data points and analysis on the Indian economy, science and tech, environmental issues, and internal security. I mean, that's the very heart of GS Paper 3. All right, so we've got the rule: avoid political noise. We have the reason: to map our reading directly to the syllabus. Now, let's pull it all together into an actionable daily mission. So what's with this number, 40? This isn't just some random number. It's your target. It's a challenge. It's the number of minutes that the source itself suggests you should aim for to get your daily news reading done. And there it is, straight from the source again. Please try to read this completely in 40 minutes. Think of this as a benchmark. It forces you to be absolutely ruthless in applying that signal over noise filter.
It totally transforms a passive reading session into an active, timed exercise in efficiency.
So how in the world do you hit that 40-minute mark? You just follow this simple method. Step 1, scan. Quickly go through all the headlines to get an overview. Step 2, filter. Apply that golden rule and just ruthlessly get rid of the political noise. Step 3, read. Now you focus only on the articles relevant to the syllabus: policy, constitution, economy. And finally, Step 4, finish. Stick to the clock, be disciplined.
By combining this clear filter with a timed challenge, you completely transform the newspaper from this daily obstacle into a powerful, efficient tool for your preparation. The method is clear, the path is set, so the only question left really is, are you ready to take the challenge?